A beaver was gnawing at a tree branch with all its might, but suddenly its teeth stopped working. Seeing this, its friends began to laugh. But then, they were so scared that they ran away in a hurry. The young beaver quickly turned its head and saw a king wearing a crown. The king threw his axe to the beaver and tied a cape around it. Then, he began to draw designs on the ground. The beaver became very excited and picked up the axe to start chopping wood like crazy. It worked very fast. The king directed from the side. In a short time, they had built the basic shape of a house. But the king was very unhappy. So, he ordered the beaver to work non-stop for 24 hours. The young beaver was not happy at all, but under the king's pressure, it had to keep working. In just half a day, it had cut down half a forest. Later, when the king woke up from his sleep, he was surprised to find himself in midair. He was really shocked. What's more, he could look down at the clouds and the mountains. The king was very excited, but then the castle suddenly began to collapse. Luckily, he ran away quickly and saved his own life. At the same time, the young beaver was staring blankly at the tree stumps on the ground. When the king saw this, he walked up to the beaver and started shouting at it. Then he threatened the beaver to rebuild a palace. The beaver angrily threw away the axe. But then, the king grabbed him and threw him far away. Seeing the castle about to collapse, the king rushed in, trying to use his body to hold up the 10,000-ton palace. But the young beaver was very angry and had no intention of helping. Just then, a hurricane struck, and the tree behind the beaver was uprooted. The castle collapsed into ruins. The beaver barely managed to grab a tree root on the ground and heard the king, who was swept away by the hurricane, cursing. The beaver couldn't stand it anymore and picked up the axe from the ground, throwing it at the king. After a while, the forest became calm again. At that moment, the king fell from the sky. Then, the gophers in the underground layer looked at the disheveled king in confusion. But to everyone's surprise, the king immediately gave the gophers a spoon. The king became happy again because he had the gophers build an underground palace for him. Finally, the gophers were about to dig through to the underground river. So, we should not destroy the environment just for our own selfish desires.